I'd rather have a stock that's had a dividend go up for 40 years in a row, that's consistent in their track record, than the stock that had their price go up and down all over the place for 40 years in a row. I just think there's a lot more consistency to be found when you look at wealth creation of a dividend. And then, as we referred to before the break, selling an option is an accelerator to your wealth. Now, you can certainly do a lot of capital gain stuff, and you can use leverage where you can get bigger credits for less cash. And we have all kinds of leverage we can do with that, with multiple leg options. And those that want to study it can study with us. But it's always the same. It's click and get paid. It's click and invent money. Click and invent money. And there's different metrics and leverages we can tap with that, but it's always the same. It's click and get paid. Click, money's created, and get paid. And it's a context issue. Robert's a master of context. And the hard part is to help people break the trance, the hypnotic trance they're in of go to school, work hard, get a job, work hard, put money in a 401k. It's just hard for them to get out of that job mentality where they serve their boss. Part of that, I think, is you're being taken care of by that boss, right? It's very parental-like. I depended on my parents growing up to feed me. Now I depend on my boss to feed me, right? I've just basically switched who I answer to, and I had to do what my parents told me when I grew up, and I have to do what my boss tells me. Now I am grown up for 8 hours of my day. So it's just kind of a transfer of that mindset growing up. The idea of not having a job is terrifying for a lot of folks, and so they don't know how to create money, because the idea of that alchemy, starting with nothing and just creating, is really, really tough. So I really tried hard with my sons to give them that opportunity to do both. I don't know what they'll do, but I know that the money that they've earned more money in their life so far by creating it than by working for it. And they'll have to figure that balance out for themselves as much as anyone else does, right? So it's a context issue. It's how you think. And I just remember, again, so vividly how many times Robert would drill that into their heads. Money's created in your mind, boys. It's created in how you think, not at a job. And, that's how that works. Don't know how else to say it.
Speaking of education, I think your boys have had a great financial education. They're very financially literate. Now, what role does that play in inventing money?
Well, when you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I think the most illuminating page you could argue in that book is when the author said, this is the cash flow pattern of a poor person. Mm-hmm. And then the author said, this is the cash flow pattern of an asset. And those two pages, in that book speak really loud to me. They did to me when I read it. It was probably what really hooked me on the book more than anything else. So if we want to know how to create money, we see an asset creates cash flow. We see an asset in the asset column. And, the brilliance of Rich Dad Poor Dad is he used arrows instead of numbers. So we could see how cash flowed and where it came from. And so cash flow is created from assets. And so a person in their brain thinks, how do I create an asset? And if you can't create an asset, then go buy one. And if you don't have any money to buy one, then borrow the money and go buy one. Or use leverage by contract and use an option, right? It's just that creative process. Another way to think of it is, if I'm going to control an asset, if I can't create an asset, but I want to control one, a lot of people will look at a stock and they'll say, okay, the stock's at $100. How high might it go? Is NVIDIA going higher, right? Is there a semiconductor company going higher? Boeing's had trouble. Should I buy it now because it's going higher? They're always asking how high the stock could get at the current price. But where a creative mind and a financial education mind might look at that same asset, they say, okay, that stock's $100.